We find Lee lying in a pristine white corridor with lights flooding the area. His eyes flicker open and he covers his eyes as he sits up and inspects his surroundings. He comes to and stumbles to his feet and looks around.
Luca? JJ?
He hears nothing. He slowly walks forward and then he hears a whoosh and turns to see a wall just 6 feet behind him.
The hell? That wasn't there before.
He turns and stumbles forward and then stops. He feels the ground rattle beneath him and turns to see the wall rumble in kind. He steps back and hears a thunderous crash to see the Minotaur towering above him.
Shit.
The monster roars and charges forward. Lee turns and runs, going around corners, leaping over debris as he flees. The beast, however, isn't bothered at all and simply crashes through the corners and divides, leaving debris all over the place. Lee grabs a piece of debris and hurls it at him, but, as expected, it has no effect. The monster bellows and marches towards it.
Damn it!
In another part of the maze, Luca is feeling his way through the maze, hitting corners. We see he is blindfolded. As he feels his way around, he walks into a few statues with horrified expressions on their faces. He suddenly stops and turns around. He hears a rattling noise draw near. He pulls the blindfold down a little bit and then resumes his course, careful to avoid the statues. JJ, meanwhile, is staring at the floor. Okay. There has to be a pattern. If I leap 2 spaces to the right, and then 1 space up to the left, I should avoid getting shocked. But he tosses a penny in the direction he was planning and it explodes. Alright. Scratch that then. Shit! They didn't just randomly lay electric tiles so you get shocked when you least expect it. As Lee runs, he finds himself in a gallery of statues. He gingerly walks past them and accidentally knocks one over. The head comes off and blood spurts from the opening. Lee covers his mouth.
Oh, shit! You cannot be serious! This is the proverbial out of the frying pan and into the fire scenario!
He hears a bellow and hurries down the corridor where he runs into Luca, knocking him over.
Luca?
Suchak? He lifts the blindfold. How'd you get here?
I ran?
From what? They hear a bellow in the distance. Huh. I thought that was my stomach growling.
Of course. Why are you wearing a blindfold?
Luca points to the statues in response. Yeah, she's real. And she's a bitch.
I've noticed. I knocked one of them over and its head came off. Got blood all over my shorts. Man.
Well, the only problem is I don't know where she is. I mean, I rounded a corner a while back and think she was behind me, but I didn't want to risk it.
Explains the blindfold.
Yeah, but I'm nowhere closer to finding the exit.
If there even is one. You know, I think we're in a maze. And it's shifting too.
Well, how do you mean?
As in the walls keep moving around. So what's a corner 1 second is a wall the next. Hey, I got an idea.
What?
Do you think you can make your way back to Medusa?
What?
I have a hunch.
Oh, no. I hate it when the rules are reversed. JJ is still trying to figure out the pattern when he hears a bellow and rumbling. The walls shake a little and he sighs. Alright. Better now than never. I think I figured it out. He leaps to the left, and, to his relief, nothing happens. He leaps to the right, where nothing happens. Alright, 2 for 2. He steps onto the left tile and is shocked and steps back. Spoke too soon. Luca is feeling his way through the maze, stepping over debris and nearly falling over. We see Lee standing on one of the walls, his hands over his eyes.
Alright, now, in 8 steps, move to your left.
Why, is she there?
I see a tail sticking out, so it must be.
Oh, shit. I hope you know what you're doing, Suchek. As Lucas stumbles around the corner, Medusa turns around.
My, aren't we a glutton for punishment?
Suchek? I hope that's you, and I hope you've got laryngitis.
Alright, Luca, just stay there.
What? Suchek! Suchek! I am not going to be some asshole's front door decoration. Lee leaps down and runs towards the Minotaur. He sees him and bellows.
Come on, big boy! Over here! Ole!
He turns and runs. The Minotaur charges after him, and as he gets closer, he grabs Luca and hurls him into a corner as Medusa's eyes widen. The Minotaur turns to stone, but one of his horns plunges into her head, killing her instantly. They both crash through the wall behind them, landing on the floor, short-circuiting it. JJ looks up. Oh, hey guys. They walk over, and JJ leaps over the 2 dead monsters. What happened here?
Killing 2 beasts with 1 stone.
Well, technically one of the beasts is the stone.
I get it, dude. Any idea of what happened?
No. Last thing I remember, we were sneaking onto the grounds. Luca had this idea of going Batman Arkham City on the guards. I still stand by that decision. And then we were gassed and woke up here.
Did we ever find the guy?
No. I don't think he's even at home. A poor observation. They look up. Mikhail Cherundulo? Yes, it is I, the second of your target. And you are quite a nuisance. Awful house guests. You killed my 2 favorite pets. They look over at the Minotaur and Medusa.
You've got really effed up taste, man.
Oh, I'm more impressed that he actually got Medusa. So, did you actually get her, or was it like a genetic crossbreeding thing? He sees JJ and Luca staring at him. What? I'm genuinely curious. Man, fuck you guys. No appreciation for the classics. I did look over the dossier. Codename Antigonus. Apropos, I am, after all, the most powerful of these oligarchs. Rensky always was a dandy and a hackin' Basibulus as his god delusion. And Aaron is just a sad man with a wife he doesn't love and a mistress he cannot please.
Alright, how about you just show yourself?
No. Let's play a game, shall we?
Shit.
You are guests of mine here in my estate. And, as a host, I want you to humor me. What game did you have in mind? Oh, a simple game of hide and seek. And what are the stakes? You find me, you can kill me. You fail to find me, I kill you. Lee looks at Luca.
Seriously? You had to ask?
I mean, well, you could have said anything. I mean, for all we know, we could have won $1 million. And we start Now, you have 2 hours to locate me. The three pick their way through the debris and find themselves standing inside a rather large vault. They turn back to see the labyrinth from which they had emerged.
So, any ideas on how to find a crazy oligarch?
We can split up.
Still doesn't explain how we find the guy.
Well, you think he's hiding in the vault here?
It's likely. But if spy movies have taught me anything, is that they've got a layer up there. Like...
He points up. Yeah, and we've got no weapons.
I know. Alright, JJ, you start on the ground level. Luca, you take the upper floor. And I'll take the top floor.
It cuts to JJ walking down the corridor. He passes a small library and enters, looking around. He sees an old flintlock pistol hanging on the wall. He grabs it and takes aim before turning around and looking at the room itself. He isn't aware that there are cameras watching him. As he walks out, the camera swivels to follow. Luca, meanwhile, is on the second floor. You can see the walls have holes in them and debris all over the floor. It cuts to a kitchen where we see he's making himself a sandwich. He takes a bite and makes a face. Oh. Pickled beach, mystery meat, and goat cheese? Ugh. What was I thinking? He tosses the sandwich down and looks around the kitchen. He goes over to the refrigerator and, having an idea, tries to move it aside, but after a few minutes desists. He grabs a jar of pickled onions and grabs one and bites it. Ah, well. Pickled onions. You can never go wrong with that. He walks into the adjacent study, where he finds a saber hanging. He grabs it and swings it around, knocking over a few items. He carelessly cuts through the place and then makes a noise. No. That was a rich asshole with a Peter Pan complex who decided to mindfuck 3 total strangers. Where would I hide? Where, oh where? As he continues brandishing the saber, and in the process destroying more things, the camera in the corner zooms in. It cuts to a man sitting in a control room, his fists shaking. You swine! That is a 15th century heirloom from the time of the Muscovite princes. And you destroyed 20 manuscripts, defecated on the remains of a Russian countess, urinated on a Fabergé nesting doll, and destroyed some very expensive wallpaper. He presses the button. Time to up the stakes. Lee is on the 3rd floor, searching the master bedroom when he hears a growl. He sits up to see a giant robot wolf standing there, snarling at him.
Hey, buddy. Where'd you come from?
The wolf growls, and Lee backs away slowly.
Now, you wouldn't happen to know where your master is, would you?
The wolf snarls and charges. Lee leaps out of the way, and the wolf crashes through the wall. Lee runs over to see the wolf downstairs, struggling against wires. Lee looks around and opens the drawers and is appalled.
Ugh, God, really? He's got enough here to open a Smithsonian sexhibition.
He laughs to himself at the clever wordplay, but when the wolf leaps onto the floor, he turns around and grabs a towel. He waves it and the wolf charges again, but Lee lifts it and it crashes into the bathroom. Lee quickly locks the bathroom door and runs out as the wolf tears down the door. As he runs downstairs, he runs into the study to find Luca behind the desk. Suchek!
Luca, I'm glad I found you. I was inspecting the bedroom when this wolf appeared and... What?
He sees Luca pulls up his pants.
Did I walk in on something I wasn't supposed to see?
What? No. Forget it. He grabs the saber. So, you were being chased by a wolf. As he says this, the wolf crashes through the ceiling and lands before them.
Yeah, it kinda looked like that.
The two burst out of the study with the wolf in pursuit. They run downstairs where they run into JJ. Hey guys, no sign of the weirdo in here, but what the hell? He sees a cybernetic wolf bound towards them. They turn and flee. Lee and JJ hurl objects at it, but it merely bites the objects and continues charging. At the last moment, they jump out of the way, and the creature crashes into the labyrinth. Whew! That was close. Now we're sitting on firm ground, so nothing will happen to us. The floor collapses, and the three fall into the labyrinth. Lee shoots him a dirty look.
Dude! You gotta shut the fuck up!
The wolf snarls at Lee and bounds towards him. Luca, clutching the saber, looks behind him and runs off. He runs over to Medusa and, turning his head away, cuts her head off. He then runs back to where the wolf is about to devour Lee. Hey, shithead! The wolf turns around. Suchek, JJ, look away. He holds up the head. After a few seconds, he sees the wolf just staring him down. Damn it. Why won't you work? Maybe it's because it's a machine. Ah, shit. Rule number 3, of course. He tosses the head of Medusa at the wolf, who swallows it. Lee scurries away, but now Luca and JJ are being chased. They split and the wolf follows Luca. He slides down and jabs the wolf's underbelly, but doesn't have time to do anything further as the wolf grabs the saber and chomps it in half. Luca slowly backs away as the wolf snarls and bounds towards him. He gets out of the way and the wolf crashes through the walls. JJ runs in with one of the Minotaur's horns and hurls at the beast. It knocks JJ over and Luca slides the horn back to JJ, who jams it into the wolf's mouth. It doesn't kill the monstrosity, but now it cannot bite. As the wolf struggles, the two scurry off to find Lee leaning against a post.
Think that's done it.
The wolf turns around and charges after him, but the floor gives way and he crashes into the ground. The trio also fall through the floor, where they find themselves in the presence of Mikhail Cherundulo, who was sitting in a chair. Oh, you found me. He looks at the wolf. Oh, poor thing. What did they do to you? What did those Americans do to you? As the wolf becomes docile, he stands to face the Bushwackers. So, these are the famous Bushwackers. The ones who bested our Russian forces in the North Pole, who outwitted 2 of the world's best assassins and are now here to kill me. You bet your sweet mother-loving ass. Ah! And you broke my sword! As Luca moves to attack, he disarms him and hurls him to the wall. JJ also tries to attack, but is also dispatched. Lee looks at his 2 friends laying motionless on the ground. Cherundulo holds the broken sword to his neck. I studied judo, jujitsu, and aikido for 15 years. I'm not the type to be trifled with. In this castle, I built myself a place where I know I can protect myself from the likes of you. Government hitmen and private assassins. I need no protection, And now, you will be joining your friends. As he points, he turns to see Luca and JJ have disappeared. What? He runs over to the monitors, but sees the feed has gone out. He turns around. I used a special technique. They were to remain unconscious for hours.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Before he can say anything else, there's a boom and the room shudders. Lee falls to the ground as Cherundulo looks up. Lee turns and runs out and climbs out with the oligarch in tow. He sees the place is on fire now and sees Cherundulo charge after him. He tackles Lee to the ground and holds the broken sword over his head, preparing to stab him. As he does, there's a loud bang, and he falls over the ledge, back into the labyrinth. JJ grabs Lee and helps him up.
So, you're doing?
Sorta. I can't take all the credit. But him flipping us over, that was not fake. He winces in pain. It really does sting, bro.
I see. So what's happening here?
Yeah, Luca cut all the pipes and set the place on fire. They look down at the labyrinth as debris falls all over the place. Fire rains from the house above, crashing onto the floor below. The labyrinth floor gives way and everything, including Cherundulo, collapses into the burning pit below. Should we go after him?
Nah. We're done here. Nobody survives that.
Well, not even us? Lee simply turns and walks away, climbing up the stairs as JJ follows. In the safe house, Perdiccas marks off another target and turns around. 2 down, 2 to go.
Aren't you gonna chide us for improvising?
She doesn't say a word, but turns around and hands him a dossier.
What now?
This time you're heading to Egypt. Word is that Naren is on vacation, trying to patch up his marriage. They're on a river cruise and he's using the opportunity to meet with potential clients. Rumor has it, he's trying to relaunch interest in another military expedition. He just needs capital.
Oh, perfect. I bet Luca's eager to play family therapist, prospective investor in the military-industrial complex.
It doesn't get any easier, Lee. He looks at her.
Is this from personal experience?
Perdiccas touches his face and walks out. As Lee looks after her, he turns to see Luca and JJ standing there, enjoying a beer. There's an awkward silence. She isn't bad, is she? Lee nods and walks off. Luca turns to JJ. So, how much did you get for the Fabergé egg? Just 2 mil. You? You know, no one wanted to buy this vintage Rolex. I had it listed for 8,000, still no takers. I mean, what the hell? I'm starting to think it's a fake.